You're looking at 3,841 tons of seafood every hour, not per day, not per fleet, every hour. Out here, a single vessel can pull in tens of tons of fish in just minutes, under lights so powerful they turn the open ocean into something that looks like daylight. But below that surface, it's pitch black, cold, endless, and everything that moves is being pulled upward. Because this isn't just fishing, it's a system that runs with precision, timed down to the minute, where every fish has a clock on it. Miss that window and the value drops fast. Wait too long and an entire haul worth tens of thousands of dollars can become worthless. So nothing slows down. Not the crew, not the machines, not the catch. Nets rise from the water, heavy, straining, and then suddenly they break the surface. A surge of silver. Fish spill across the deck like a moving wave, alive 1 second, processed the next. And it doesn't stop there. Squid drawn in by blinding light. Snow crabs hauled from freezing depths. Seaweed pulled in by the ton before sunrise. Different species, different methods, same system. Fast, relentless, always moving. Because out here, every second matters, and the ocean is being harvested on a schedule. The scale of Korea's fishing machine, South Korea, isn't a large country. But out at sea, its fishing industry is one of the most efficient in all of Asia. Every day, thousands of vessels leave port before sunrise, spreading across cold, fast-moving waters with one objective: find, catch, and return fast. The numbers add up quickly. Each year, these fleets bring in millions of tons of seafood, a constant flow that feeds domestic demand and powers global exports. And some of what they produce dominates the world. Korea supplies nearly 70% of the world's seaweed. For olive flounder, that number climbs even higher, over 70% of global supply. This isn't just productivity, it's control over entire categories of seafood. On a single night, hundreds of tons of fish move from open water to crowded docks before most people wake up. The entire cycle, from catch to market, can happen in just hours. To put that into perspective, what's pulled from the ocean every hour is enough to fill hundreds of fully loaded trucks. And over the course of a season, the total output is so large it could sustain an entire nation. From above, it looks organized. From the dock, it feels overwhelming. Crates stacking, workers moving, engines idling, ready to go again. Because this system doesn't pause, it resets, and then it goes right back out, into the dark, to do it all over again. From signal to haul, how it really works. Every catch starts with something you can't see, a signal, deep below the surface. At depth, sonar sweeps through the water, tracking movement in real time. Not individual fish, but entire schools. Dense, shifting, constantly moving. On the screen, it looks like a cloud. In reality, it's millions of fish moving as one. And once they're found, everything speeds up. Because at night, the strategy changes. The ocean goes dark, and the lights turn on. High-powered LED arrays flood the water with brightness, so intense it cuts through the black. From below, it looks like daylight, and the fish react. They rise, drawn upward as if pulled by a magnet, compressing into tighter and tighter formations just beneath the surface. That's the moment. The net goes out. A purse seine, wide, fast, and precise, drops into position and wraps around the entire school. Within minutes, it closes. What was once open ocean is now a sealed pocket of movement. And inside, tens of tons of fish. Then comes the pull. Cables tighten, winches engage. The entire system strains against the weight. The deck shifts underfoot. Water crashes over steel. Everything is wet. Everything is moving. And the lines are under extreme tension. One failure here doesn't just stop the process, it turns dangerous. But if it holds, the net rises. Slow at first, then faster, until it breaks the surface and everything spills out. A surge of silver. Fish pour onto the deck in a continuous wave, sliding, flashing, piling up faster than the eye can track. And immediately, the clock starts, because from this moment on, time is everything. Mackerel goes straight into iced seawater, temperature dropping fast to preserve texture and quality. Squid into oxygenated tanks, kept alive to maintain value. No delay, no hesitation, because even a few minutes can mean the difference between premium product and loss. Then, without pause, the system resets. Lines go back down. Lights stay on. Eyes return to the sonar. Night turns to morning. Morning back to night. And the cycle continues, over and over again. Out here, this isn't a single event. It's a rhythm. Precise, relentless, and built to run without stopping. The system that never stops. This vessel doesn't just catch fish, it processes them right here at sea. The moment the catch hits the deck, it doesn't sit, it moves. Onto conveyor belts that run without pause, carrying thousands of fish at a time through a system built for speed. First, sorting. By size, by quality, by destination. Everything is separated in seconds. No hesitation, no second pass. Then cutting. Blades flash in tight, controlled motions, removing heads, cleaning bodies, preparing each fish for the next stage. Up close, it's precise. Zoom out, and it's constant, a flow that never breaks. Then packing. Crates fill fast, layered with ice, stacked in rapid sequence, ready to be moved below deck. You can feel the urgency, because the longer it takes, the more value disappears. Then comes the cold. Temperature drops fast, locking everything in place. Freshness preserved, quality maintained, all within minutes of leaving the water. At full speed, this system can handle tons of seafood every hour, not as individual fish, but as continuous volume. A moving pipeline from ocean to product. Imagine an Amazon warehouse, but instead of boxes, it's raw, living catch moving through a chain that never slows down. No downtime, no reset, just input and output. Above deck, the ocean keeps giving. Below deck, the system keeps converting. And between the two, there's no gap. Because out here, processing isn't a separate step. It's part of the catch. And if the system stops, everything behind it starts to lose value, fast. So it doesn't stop. It can't. It just keeps moving, turning seconds into product. From catch to cash, the value chain. A single fish can go from open ocean to someone's plate in under 24 hours. It starts here, pulled from cold, dark water, processed within minutes, packed and chilled for speed. Then it moves, fast. Mackerel heads straight into domestic markets, sold fresh, often the same day it lands. Snow crab, handled with precision, kept alive or perfectly chilled, destined for high-end export. Squid, rushed to restaurants, valued for texture that only lasts hours. Same ocean, different paths, different prices. At the source, raw seafood is relatively cheap, but add time pressure, handling precision, cold chain logistics, and the value multiplies fast. A fish caught at the right moment, processed the right way, delivered at the right time, can be worth several times more than one that isn't. Scale that across millions of tons every year, and you're looking at an industry worth billions of dollars annually. Not just from catching, but from moving, from timing, from preserving quality at every step. Because this isn't just supply, it's a race. From ocean to dock to auction to plate, every second adds or removes value. At the market, buyers move fast. Bids go up. Crates change hands. Product moves again. And within hours, what was alive in the ocean is now plated, sliced, served. Clean, precise, high value. Because in this system, the fish isn't just the product, timing is. And the faster it moves, the more it's worth. The human cost. A fish can lose its value in minutes, but out here, a human life can be lost in seconds. Most of this work happens at night. Cold air, wet steel, no stable ground. The deck moves under your feet, constantly shifting with every wave. You don't walk, you adjust. Hours stretch long, 12, 16, sometimes 20 hours without real rest. Hands numb, clothes soaked, muscles burning, and still the work doesn't slow down because it can't. The danger isn't just the ocean, it's everything on the deck. Cables under extreme tension, heavy traps swinging in unpredictable arcs. Surfaces covered in ice and seawater. One slip, and there's nothing to grab. Crab season is where it hits hardest. Trap after trap comes up from deep water. Heavy, swinging, unpredictable. Lines tighten, winches pull, the system strains, and then something goes wrong. A cable snaps loose. It doesn't fall, it lashes, fast, violent, uncontrollable. In a split second, someone's down. No warning, no second chance. There are moments like this that don't make it into reports. A crew member pulled off balance. A line wrapping too fast. A body disappearing from sight. Gone in seconds. And yet, the work continues because it has to. The catch is still coming. The system is still running. Out here, every step matters. Every movement is calculated. Because walking across this deck, in the dark, in the cold, in the storm, is like walking a tightrope in the middle of a moving ocean. And the people who do it, night after night, aren't just part of the system. They're the ones holding it together. The other side. But the ocean doesn't give forever. For all the precision, all the speed, all the scale, there's a limit. And signs of that limit are starting to show. In some areas, the catches are smaller. The sonar returns thinner signals. Routes that once guaranteed results don't always deliver anymore. The water itself is changing. Warmer currents, shifting patterns, species moving to new depths or disappearing from old ones. What used to be predictable isn't anymore, and the costs keep rising. Fuel, time, distance. Boats travel farther, stay out longer, work harder for less consistent results. It creates a paradox because the system has never been more efficient. Better technology, faster processing, higher output per trip. But that same efficiency means we're removing more in less time, faster than natural systems can always recover. Entire schools can be captured in a single pass, not over days, not over weeks, in minutes. And sometimes the nets come back lighter, not empty, but different, less density, more gaps. A subtle shift, but one that crews notice. Because out here, everything depends on what comes up in that net. And when that changes, everything else follows. The question isn't just how much can be taken, it's how long this pace can continue. Because for all its power, this system still relies on one thing, that the ocean keeps giving, and one day it might not keep up. The question: you're eating seafood, but do you know where it actually came from? Not the label, not the store, the process. From dark, open water, to steel decks under blinding lights, to machines that don't stop moving. From something alive to something packaged in less than a day. So what is this really? A breakthrough in efficiency? A system so advanced it can feed millions every single day? Or something else? A level of extraction so powerful it's starting to outpace the ocean itself. Because both can be true, and that's the part that's hard to ignore. This isn't just fish, it's a system. A process that turns the unpredictability of the ocean into something controlled, measured, and repeatable. Out here, the line between nature and industry is almost gone. What's left is a production line on a global scale. And this is what it looks like when humanity doesn't just fish, but transforms an entire ocean into a machine.